In this section, we will learn about elite topics in pfSense that really allow us to perform some powerful functions. This section features a video on intrusion detection and prevention, followed by a lesson in firewall automation and geolocational blocking. In the third lesson, we will scan traffic for malware in real time, and we'll conclude the course with a review of what we've learned and recommendations on where you can go from here. In this video, we will focus on intrusion detection and prevention. There are two primary choices for intrusion detection and prevention easily installable in pfSense. You can find these in the supplemental packages, where there are a variety of other enhanced security tools as well. The two packages most widely used are Snort and Suricata. Snort is more ubiquitous because it is older and has a broader community which submits public rules more frequently. However, it is not multi-threaded, which means that its performance is limited. In Suricata, we have a more modern multi-threading system that has better intelligence and is able to more accurately identify unknown threats. The official rule set is released publicly every 30 to 60 days, and they do offer a subscription service that allows you to get the most up-to-date rules on a daily basis. We can find intrusion detection and prevention software under the System menu and Package Manager. If you click on the Available Packages tab and enter IDS or IPS, you will see that we have Snort and Suricata available for installation, and we will choose the Suricata package to install simply by clicking Install and providing confirmation. And you can see the package will download and install itself quite quickly, and one of the handiest features of pfSense is its ability to easily install complicated software such as Suricata. And now that we have achieved success in the installation, we will be able to find the Suricata Management panel under the Services tab. Once we are here, we can add an interface. We're going to make it simple and just enable the defaults on all of this. Click Save. And now if we go to the global settings, we will install the ET Open Emerging Threats rules by clicking here. If you want to subscribe to other Suricata rules, or you have registered for the Snort rules, you can enable those as well. We will use the Snort GPL'd community rules, and we'll hide deprecated rules categories. If you were running this in production, you may want to set your update interval so that your rules will be automatically downloaded every so often. And if you were to do so, I generally use the Enable Live Swap Reload of Rules upon update, which means that it will automatically reload the rules in real time without rebooting the system. Otherwise, it may perform a hard restart. We also want to enable the downloading of the GeoIP country database by default. That is already checked for us. And here you can set how long you are going to ban people for if they are detected as an intruder of some form. And if you are running a busy or popular web hosting service, you may want to set this low to 15 minutes or so. However, if you are running a more secure environment or expecting no traffic, you can set that quite high. For instance, a home user should never have traffic coming in on the wide area network port, so you may want to set that at never. And you can copy the Suricata messages to the firewall system log, and you can send it to whichever logging facility you prefer. We'll just wait and let it have its own. settings will not be removed during package deinstallation. So if you want to do a hard deinstall, then you can uncheck that. We'll save those options and look at the Updates tab. In the Updates tab, you can see that if you have downloaded any of these packages that contain the rule sets, it will tell you if it has an update available and when the MD5 hash signature was created. And if you want to manually update your rule set, you can use this blue button, and we will do that now to start the download of our rules for the first time. And as you can see, we now have the signature hashes available and the dates that they were downloaded. After we've downloaded the rules, we can go down and view the rule downloading log and see that the rules have finished downloading. And if you have any problems downloading the rules at any time, you can inspect that log to find out what kind of errors you may be having. We can now go back to the Interfaces tab, and as you can see, we have the Wide Area Network interface created, and the Suricata service is stopped on this interface. We could click on this play button to enable it. However, we will go into the settings menu and configure a few things. Now that we have the rules in place, we'll go down and choose to send alerts to the system log so that we're aware of everything going on, and you can set the priority that they will arrive in the system log. And here you can configure additional types of logging information. Be aware that the accumulation of logging data can be quite extensive when you are in a heavily trafficked network environment. And for instance, if you were to enable the packet log, you would capture literally every packet traveling across the network, and that would require a lot of disk space. The block offenders button is one of my favorite buttons, of course. You can change the IPS mode to inline mode if you like, and it has some special considerations to take into account. Or you can switch to legacy mode, and you can either block the source or destination and have a little more control there. Which route you take is up to you. I obviously prefer the inline mode as it is less likely to have any data slippage in the detection of malicious traffic. But as I said, there are special considerations to take into account, and you can go through the rest of this page and get into some of the more advanced settings of the system on the particular interface that you are configuring. One thing to note is that by default, the home net will contain pretty much every network that it can have access and control to. And as you can see, it contains pretty much every network attached to our VirtualBox machine. The external net is precisely the opposite of that. It literally is the exact same list, but with the negation operator in front of it. And you can also configure a whitelist that will always pass all of the detection rules. You can have a particular file of alert suppressions and alert filters, and you can pass variables directly to Suricata right here. So we can now save these options and look at the WAN categories, and we can auto enable rules for checked flow bits, which we will want to do. And you can go through here and enable all of the various rules that you want to enable, and you don't necessarily need to enable them all of the time. And they have a handy select all button that will choose all of these for you, and you can save them so that they will now be enabled. And if you click on the WAN rules, you can see that we have a variety of the more advanced rules here, and you can select whether to enable or disable the rule selectively. You can also heavily configure the flow stream information which is considerably complex and not something you will probably have to worry about too much. The app parsers, you can set a few custom things with regards to protocols, protocol ports, and whether or not to use particular protocols or ignore certain protocols as well. In the WAN variables department, you can set a variety of different options for defining particular servers and ports that you want to monitor, and you can combine these with the other list and home networks in a number of different ways. In the Barnyard 2 area, you can enable Barnyard, which is an alert management system, which is going to be handy if you are trying to log and manage a lot of historical security data. You can, for instance, send these to a MySQL database or a remote system logger and even Bro IDS. Barnyard 2 is essentially the alert management and data storage system that was designed to enhance the alert capabilities of Snort, since they were having a difficult time managing a multi-threaded version of the software. So Barnyard 2 was their solution to that problem. You can also use IP reputation lists, which I find to be extremely valuable. You can assign a categories and reputation list file, and if you click the add button, it will tell you where to put that file on your operating system, which you will have to do manually. There are a variety of other useful features in Suricata, and you can view, save, and clear the log files in the alert system. There is some limited filtering capabilities. If you have blocks enabled and Suricata has been blocking hosts, then you can see those blocked hosts here. You can download, save, and clear those blocks. Configure your pass lists or custom suppression lists, which require you to modify the Suricata rules directly. They're very similar to ModSec style rule declarations, if you're familiar with that. And you can view various portions of the logs, manage your logs, manage the signature ID settings on a per interface level. This will enable some intelligence in the signature ID management and its use of signature IDs to control and enable or disable different rules. And if you have a high availability deployment of Suricata, you can control their XML RPC synchronization settings here, and you can also subscribe to the Emerging Threats IQ Risk Reputation Database, which is a subscription service with a more advanced and up-to-date IP reputation service. So that covers the configuration of the Suricata intruder detection and prevention services, and that should give you a nice introduction into how Suricata is set up and configured, and you can put that into practice to begin the first phase of implementing a fully unified threat management system. Now that you have learned how to use the intrusion detection and prevention system, it is important that you learn how to automatically block those who offend them. In other words, it is no use to detect them if you aren't going to block them.